Massive breach in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security.
Unprecedented lapse in the Prime Minister's security.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की सुरक्षा में चूक।
आतंकवाद से गंभीर रूप से प्रभावित क्षेत्रों में भी कभी इस प्रकार के सुरक्षा की चूक नहीं हुई।
सिक्योरिटी टैक्सी दिखाकर उनको खतरे के साथ को जोड़ा जा रहा है।
किसने उन लोगों को फ्लाईओवर पर भेजा, ठहराया, व्यवस्था की, इसका जवाब पंजाब की कांग्रेस सरकार को देना होगा।
इसमें किसी भी तरह का कोई खतरे वाली बात नहीं थी।
Just a week ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was scheduled to visit Firozpur to lay the foundation stones of multiple development projects in Firozpur, Punjab. What transpired instead was a shocking lapse of security protocols that left India's Prime Minister exposed on a flyover for almost 20 minutes. All because the road was blocked by alleged farmers. We didn't have to look too closely before realizing that not only did the protesters know the exact time and route, members of the state administration were conspicuously absent from the Prime Minister's motorcade. Was this just a coincidence or a pre-planned conspiracy? Who stands to blame for this terrifying breach in security? That too, when it was most needed. Hello and welcome to New India Junction. I am Richa Dwivedi and this is The Bottom Line. Those 20 long minutes, where Prime Minister Modi's motorcade was exposed and unable to travel further, could have resulted in grave consequences for the entire nation. When it comes to Prime Ministers and lapses in security, India has had a checkered past. The tragic consequences of security lapses have been etched in our memories. It seems, however, that there are some who would have them repeated rather than learn from them. To understand this major security failure, let's take an analytical approach. Why is the Prime Minister's security a top national priority? An Indian Prime Minister is the head of our democratically elected government. India's general election is known as the world's largest democratic exercise. The Indian Prime Minister is its culmination. When it comes to Prime Minister Modi, he has been elected twice, that too with a huge mandate. A threat to his security is a threat to the democratic fabric of India. It's 1.4 billion people, their love, their hopes and their aspirations. How grave was the threat to Prime Minister Modi while his motorcade was stuck at the flyover? The flyover where the Prime Minister's convoy was stuck is just 10 kilometers from the Pakistan border, putting it well within the range of artillery fire. If that wasn't enough, drone-aided cross-border delivery, be it ammo, explosives or drugs, is a very real threat. Just last year, a drone armed with explosive was used to attack an IAF airbase in Jammu. What if it was repeated on the flyover in Punjab? The flyover was surrounded by buildings and trees, providing ample hiding spots for a sniper and creating a direct threat to the Prime Minister's convoy. Most importantly, a sting operation by India Today has revealed that a bustling market space near the flyover was allowed to remain open despite the VVIP movement. This too is a breach of SPG protocol. This brings us to the most important question. Was this all just a coincidence? There are some key facts you should know before you take that call. It is established protocol that the Chief Minister, the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police should receive the Prime Minister and accompany him. In Punjab, however, Chief Minister Channi, the Chief Secretary and even the DGP were all absent when the Prime Minister arrived. The cars specially reserved for them in the cavalcade were all unoccupied. Was this an attempt to stay away from a potentially life-threatening situation? The decision to travel by road was taken due to bad weather. How did the protesters know the exact route that would be taken? Only the people in charge of the Prime Minister's security, that is the state police and the state administration, are made privy to this information. Is that where the leak happened? The Prime Minister's convoy proceeds only when it gets an all clear from the aforementioned authorities. The confirmation was given, and as a result, Prime Minister Modi was stalled at the flyover. Again, the same question: why? Even if the route was blocked within that period, were attempts made to clear it? Visuals from the day tell a completely different story. Have a look. The body language of police officials, the fact that they are having tea with the very people who have blocked the road, making no attempts whatsoever to clear the area. What does this tell you? Does it not look like this was all pre-planned? Moreover, the India Today sting operation has revealed some frightening facts. The ADGP was aware of the protesters' plan. The protesters broke barricades and proceeded to block the roads. The SSP was made aware of the situation. But was any action taken? According to the report, the majority of protesters were not farmers from the area but radicals who had come from outside. A village sarpanch also claimed that the protesters sent out a message for people to assemble urgently and that they came with lathis to gather the locals. The police before this incident were also aware that the pro-Khalistani group Sikhs for Justice had announced a reward of ₹1 lakh for anyone who threw a shoe at the Prime Minister. Still no action was taken. If all this was hearsay, then why is the SSP of Firozpur suspended? Moving on, Chief Minister Channi said he was unavailable because he had gone into preventive quarantine after being exposed to a COVID-19 patient. But why wasn't he available even over the phone? He later admitted to the breach, saying that it was kudrati, a natural occurrence. Does that seem likely? Since then, in a near-perfect U-turn, he has maintained that there wasn't a breach at all. What was it that prompted him to contradict his own statements? Police officials admitted that they were instructed not to use force because the elections were approaching. Was this the same reason that prompted Chief Minister Channi's U-turn too? Since then, members from the Congress party have mocked this grave incident, going as far as to say that it was just a matter of 20 minutes. Are they not aware that it would have taken much less to harm the Prime Minister? Some have even put the blame on Prime Minister Modi, saying that he had an all-weather helicopter and still travelled by road. Are they not aware of the national tragedy witnessed less than a month ago when we lost our brave soldiers along with CDS Bipin Rawat? These biased actions are probably behind the Supreme Court's decision to disband the state government's investigative committee and set up one that was neutral. But why the hate? Why this anger and contempt against a Prime Minister who has worked tirelessly towards India's growth? Prime Minister Modi has orchestrated the crackdown against black money and furthered national integration with the abrogation of Article 370. Due to his government's policies, the poor, the economically backward, women and youth are now empowered. Are these not commendable achievements? Recently, Chief Minister Channi admitted briefing his party's leader Priyanka Gandhi on the situation even when she holds no constitutional office.
Why and what was revealed of the confidential information that the Chief Minister is privy to?
Is this not yet another breach of protocol? These glaring lapses by the state administration simply to gain political mileage and the resultant threat to the safety of India's Prime Minister have exposed some very sinister sentiments. After the recent information that has come to light, will the Punjab government continue to toe the party line or will it mend its ways? What was the briefing that was given by Chief Minister Channi to Mrs. Gandhi? Was it congratulatory? Or was he being reprimanded for an unfinished task? Does the state government appear to be working in the people's interest or their own? You decide.